Hello everybody, Claudio here. Today I have this steam station to tear down. This station has a problem that leak water from this cap, pressure safety cap to contain the steam inside the boiler that is inside the station. And this one is a product made in Italy and has 3 buttons here, one to turn on or off the station, another to turn on or off the boiler, and this button that is eco mode, an eco mode to reduce power consumption in some way. I don't know exactly how, and this knob that is to adjust the amount of steam. So let's see what is inside. Here there is no water, so I can open it without any spill. And on the back we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 screws to remove the back. And if we give a look at the label on the back side of the base of the station, we can see that it is at 220, 240 volts, 50 or 60 hertz, 1750 watts. And actually I've made a mistake, because this one is not made in Italy as I initially thought, but instead it is made in PRC, you know, China stuff. Okay, so after having removed the back of the station, you can see what there is inside the station. And here the main part is the boiler that heat up the water, and here we can see the resistor that is inside of the boiler and that heat up the water. And here there are 1 and 2 thermostats that control the temperature inside of the boiler. And here we can see the internal part of the knob that regulates the throttle that regulates the steam. And here LEDs, lamps that indicates the functions of the station. And opening this part, removing the boiler, reveals 2 more thermostats here. So we have a total of 4 thermostats, 2 here and other 2 thermostats here. 4 thermostats in total. I don't know exactly why. Then I will look into this. And here we have the electro valve that control the steam, the release of the steam that goes to the iron. And here we can see an interesting part, that is a filter. It is made by a resistor and a capacitor that bring down the energy that is released by the coil of the electro valve when it is de-energized. And here at the main input power we have another filter that filters the EMI that can be generated by the commutation of the switches inside the thermostats or the switch in the command buttons. So to understand the circuit, I've numbered the thermostats. So this is the circuit that I extracted by looking at the wires of the steam station, and this is the plug that goes to the mains. Here we have a brown wire that carries the line, a blue wire that carries the neutral, and the yellow-green wire that is connected to the metal part of the iron and to the electro valve that is in turn connected with the body of the metal part of the boiler, and are connected to earth. This is the main double switch that turns on or off the station. This wire that goes to the electro valve, and on the other side of the electro valve we have this black wire that goes to the push button on the handle of the iron, and let control the opening of the electro valve that releases the steam that in turn goes out from the back side of the plate, and the push button closes its circuit through this internal wire that goes back to, by the means of this gray wire, to the neutral, and this red wire goes to the second double switch, but before to the second double switch it goes also by the means of this brown wire to the iron that I haven't drawn here, the internal thermostat that regulates the temperature inside the iron, and even another thermostat that is a safety thermostat to prevent overheating inside of the iron. But there are two more thermostats here that are in series with this brown wire, but then they go to the internal resistors of the iron that heat up the plate of the iron, and that and the current goes back to the neutral, to this gray wire. So the next part is carried by these two wires, blue and red wire, to the second double switch that turns on or off the boiler, and through this white wire it goes, and here it is a little bit complex circuit because we have a lot of thermostats, and this switch that insert the eco function to I suppose reduce the power consumption in some. I should ask to my wife but I don't know exactly how it perform when the eco mode is inserted. However, the circuit works this way. Through this white wire the current goes to the first thermostat, and then to the second thermostat, and then to this third thermostat, and then to the resistor that is inside the boiler and that heat up the water, generating steam, and then back to through this red wire to this further thermostat, and then back to with this white wire to the switch that in turn close the circuit through the neutral. And so basically the main thermostat that regulates the temperature inside the boiler is this one. When the temperature inside the boiler reach the right temperature when the steam is generated, I suppose 100 degrees Celsius, this thermostat will trip and open the circuit, and when this opens the circuit, the current will go through this wire. It is not longer bypassed by the contact of the thermostat, and the red light lit and indicates that the steam is ready to be used. Here we have an orange light that indicates the resistor is energized, and indicating that the boiler is heating up. This thermostat is bypassed by this contact, that is the eco mode. So what the eco mode does, when the switch is opened, this T2 thermostat is inserted, therefore it regulates the temperature of the boiler, and at the same time the current goes through this wire and this resistor that is visible here. This the resistor, the two red wires, the resistor, the T1 thermostat, and goes and since the this switch is open, the current goes through this green light that is lit, indicating that the eco mode is inserted, and goes back to the neutral. And when the switch is closed, the green light is bypassed, so it will be turned off, and also this T2 thermostat is bypassed, excluding this thermostat from the circuit. So you may wonder why we have these two more thermostats. These two thermostats are safety thermostats, but why two more thermostats? Let's look at the simplified version of the circuit, making it easier to understand. Here we have the two thermostats that regulate the temperature of the boiler, the main thermostat and the eco mode thermostat, and here the two safety thermostats. Now suppose the eco mode thermostat is bypassed and the main thermostat is broken. I will no longer open at the right temperature. To show this situation, we draw a shot here and here. Now there will be no control, and the temperature inside the boiler will rise up and up and up to the point that it would become dangerous. At this point, one of these two safety thermostats will trip, opening the circuits. the circuit and preventing further danger. But why two safety thermostats? Now suppose we had only one thermostat here, and this end of the resistor is shorted to the body with the body of the boiler. Remember that for safety reasons the body of the boiler is connected to earth, but also suppose that the residual current circuit breaker, also known in Europe as a differential breaker, is defective and won't open. In this case, because earth is at a close potential with neutral, the current will flow from this line to earth rather than the neutral through the only one safety thermostat we had. So there would be nothing that could stop the current from flowing across the resistor and stopping the boiler to heat up at a very dangerous condition, at the point that it could also explode or melt or catch fire. So now you would think, alright, that's wrong to put the thermostat on the neutral line, we have to put it on the leave. But now suppose the user inserted the plug reversing the pose, so that we had the line here and the neutral here, and the short now happens on this end of the resistor. It's clearly the same previously seen situation, but reversed. We can summarize this by drawing a short here and a short here. This thermostat protects the circuit even if a short happens here, and this one protects the circuit even if a short happens here. Also a redundancy is important in the case of one of them fails. That's why we have two safety thermostats. And if we take a look at the cover, this green thing that encloses the boiler, it is actually a thermal insulator that wrap the actual boiler, that is made of aluminum, and is visible inside here and through this point. And it is actually a quite interesting spongy fibrous material. This is a relatively simple machine, but have a number of parts that can be recovered: the thermostats, the electro valve, and why not the switches, and of course the steam generator, the boiler. After having removed the thermostat, the Eco Mode thermostat, I found online the series and the model of this thermostat, and the characteristics and the numbering system, from which I understood which kind of thermostat I have here. The thermostat have a temperature, a trip temperature of under 32 degrees Celsius. So after having looked at the other thermostat, the main thermostat that control the temperature of the boiler, it is this one. It is under 40 degrees, so 8 degrees more than the Eco Mode thermostat. So the difference with the eco mode is that when the eco mode is inserted, the whole thing is kept at a lower temperature, and so the eco mode in short is simply keep the whole thing boiling at a lower temperature. That's all. And the relief valve, the safety relief valve, is made inside the cap, and it is a quite cheap but effective solution. And well, okay, this the defect of this unit is that there is a leakage. However, since this unit has worked for a far long amount of time, I think it is an aging defect that is acceptable. Removing this part, the internal valve can be observed. The spring keep at rest the valve, and internally there is a membrane and another spring that keep the steam from exiting from the valve. And but when the pressure rise and becomes excessive, the valve relief and the steam is released, reducing the pressure. And despite this thing is made in China, it is not that bad. You know, I haven't found a loose contact or flimsy attached things and so on. So it is quite good. So that's it for today. As always, please leave your comment in the section below, and don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.